Hello everyone, my name is Miller and welcome back to another Season Max Tunes and Times video. Today I will show the expected performances of the most important cars of the season alongside some nice details on the car with the best bits on AR. I will be covering the McLaren 600LT Spider today, the BMW i8 and the ACS8, the Subaru Impreza WRX STI, the Mona Lisa Silvia S15, and to close off, the fastest non-elite customs Tier 4 car. Unlike previous season videos, this time around I will not be showing a stage 5 tune for the Prestige car, as it's a rather common car with common stage 6 parts. I will be showing the max tunes for both the i8 and the ACS8, as they're both eligible for this Prestige Cup, and if you find the right opponents, you can beat it without any stage 6 parts at all. Timestamps down below for each car, but before I start, 2 disclaimers. To start off, I'm not a pro tuner, so if record times exists out there, I will try to be within 10,000ths of a second. And then for the 600LT Spider, which is not released yet, I will just be putting a benchmark. And second, I would like to thank Natural Motion for providing the cars on my dummy account to make this video possible. To kick things off, the McLaren 600LT Spider, the open version of the already quite popular, but already 2 years old, McLaren 600LT. In the heart, under the beautiful top-mounted exhausts, we have the same 3.8 litre V8 engine we see from the coupe version, putting out 592 horsepower. Something I didn't know is that the names of the McLarens are actually linked to their power output, to where the 600LT stands for 600 PS or Pferdestärke, German for horsepower, and where the 720S has 720 PS and the 765LT has, you guessed it, 765 PS. But P1 does not mean 1 horsepower, you know? Interesting too about this car is that just like the 720S Coupe versus Spider, the Coupe was designed in a way already anticipating on the Spider version, meaning the monocoque was already built strong enough they could technically just chop off the roof without adding extra reinforcements. But of course a Spider has a downside too, the extra weight, because you need a mechanism to lift up the roof which will cost you 30 kilograms. But you do get the nice Spider experience which you don't have with the closed roof. To not make it too long, onto the best bits. Hands down the best feature on this car is the top facing exhausts which make this car so special, giving you the 918 Spider experience for just a fraction of the price. But when the roof is up, you can also open up the rear window separately, just so you can hear the engine roar when you're out there on the track. Talking about the roof then, it is completely automated, and if you pay close attention you can even see this small bits move when it's opened or closed. This is amazing. In real life the time to open and close is around 15 seconds, but in game this is only reduced to 7.5 to 8 seconds. Another detail which I quite like is the fact that wrapped inside the rear lights is a mesh grille, which lets heat dissipate from the engine, giving it at the same time that dark look. And do you know why this spoiler is two-tone? Well, the exhaust placed like that, the heat goes straight to the spoiler, which had to be reinforced by special heat-resistant material to prevent it from melting. Performance-wise, like expected, it's a Dyno killing fast tier 5 car, with the milestone spec being faster than the coupe version, to where most likely it can even dip in the high 7.5s. Tune and run. Next up, for the Prestige Cup, and as both the i8 and the ACS8 are both allowed to be used, I will try to cover them both. The original BMW i8 already made appearances quite some time ago, the first concepts coming out in 2009 with the Vision Efficient Dynamics, with then a concept i8 officially coming out in 2011. What makes this car so crazy is how much power it can produce with a small 1.5 litre turbocharged 3-cylinder. It can put down 231 brake horsepower, with a maximum torque of 320 Nm on the rear wheels with a combustion engine, because the front wheels then are powered by 2 electric motors, putting down an additional 131 horsepower, bringing the total to 362 horsepower produced by this hybrid. One of the facts I like the most about this car is that the rear window is actually 2 layers of Gorilla Glass, the same type of glass you can find on your phone that you're using to play the game on most likely. This is done to reduce the noise in the cabin by absorbing the engine sound. Some of my favorite bits on this car are the butterfly doors, as when it came out back in the day, it was still rather uncommon, definitely at this price point. And then also the shapes on the back in general, to where an air tunnel is created by the rear lights. There is also this thing here to where the license plate holder is slightly modified to suit American style license plates. Onto the interior then, it's fancy and very nice, but my eye immediately went to the screen which shows the power outlet configuration, which is very interesting. Sadly, BMW has announced this week the end of the production of the i8, so it's kind of a nice way to remember the car, like an unmeant tribute. I received this car as you see here back in season 42, when it was a milestone car, which was over 2 years ago. If you don't have it yet, no worries, there is still a 10 times drop rate on the silver crates, to where the rarest spec is the yellow version, which is a reference to the special Protonic Frozen Yellow edition, which came out in 2018. Performance-wise, it is the fastest i8 variant in-game with a record of an 11.327, with my best attempts stranding me on 11.332. Tune and pattern. So what is the difference then compared to the ACS8 or the AC Schnitzer version of the i8? Under the hood they're basically identical, because they haven't done any changes, because it's more of a package around the visuals and improvements on track performances. On the exterior the biggest change is obviously the modification to the body, to where, for example, we have the altered front splitter, which has the AC Schnitzer logo on it. There is also some slight changes to the radiator on the front, which seems to be more open, allowing a better air intake, and moving to the side, again, we don't see any big crazy changes, aside of the door handle gap being replaced by a carbon fiber piece and having the fin on the splitter on the bottom. And in the back, obviously the spoiler and the changed diffuser. If we turn the car a bit more further, we can see more aggressive Schnitzer rims, and if you compare it to the stock i8, this one is slightly lowered. By the way, wanna know something you will never unsee again? If you look at the back and imagine away the black parts and only look at the purple in this case, it looks like the back of a Porsche. Shmi pointed this out and I literally cannot unsee it now. Also, before I go to the tune, if you have AR, I challenge you to find as many AC Schnitzer badges as possible and put down below how many you found. They are literally everywhere. Performance wise it is slightly slower, and I think it even got a nerf, since the record tune yielded a different dyno. My tune and best run. Onto the fast and furious cars, and to kick things off, the Subaru Impreza WRX STI. I think one of the most forgotten cars in the series, despite being driven by the main character, Brian. When seeing this car, all I can think of is dust and rally and wanting to drive it around in the desert, and that is partially thanks to the tires and being it stands a lot higher, and it makes it quite special in that sense. What you see here essentially is a hatchback of the STI, with on top of that the wheelside body kit. And I think this is also the car with the most badges on the back. When moving to the front and upon opening the hood, we see a crazily detailed parent engine. It's just crazy how they can fit all that in such a small area, making it so compact. Other than that, on the outside, 3 small details, the NK rims without the center cap, which is quite nice, and those nuts are super clean. If we go up a bit, we see the STI logo being correct on one side, but then if you go to the other side, it seems like they forgot to flip it. And the third thing, which really grinds my gears, why is there a roof scoop if it has no link to any cooling? To the inside then, we see the car is equipped with wheelside Fortune bucket seats, with on the back seats you have extra bars to hold onto when you go off-roading. Performance wise it is actually a lot faster than I expected it to be, with the record standing on a 10.009, but to get that you need a full needle drop at the start, which after around 100 tries never really worked, so my best attempt got me stuck on a 10.02. Tune and pattern. Onto the other fast and furious car, the Nissan Silvia S15 Mona Lisa from Tokyo Drift, which did not get enough screen time in my opinion. What makes this car so special is that it's powered by the same engine as the GTR R34, but it's not identical to the R34 engines we have in game. It's slightly different and it has a mushroom filter by HKS, which I had never seen before. In the movie, this engine gets to live on when Sean crashed the Mona Lisa because the engine is transferred to the Mustang used at the end of the movie, but without the mushroom filter sadly. A second item being transferred to the Mustang in the end is also the Volk racing wheels. Aside of that is just a kitted S15, which had some slight redesigned head and rear lights, but one of my favorite bits on this car has to be the Sea West logo engraved to the inside of the stands of the old school spoiler. On the interior we see some changes compared to the other S15s. There is a different steering wheel and a different middle console, but it's not that big. Performance wise, not the fastest car, but a nice 7.86. Tricky pattern as again you needle drop. The final car for today then is the APR Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 9, and the first thing I noticed here is that the outside it literally says Toyo tires 10 times all around the car. And you might think this is a mistake, but it actually isn't. In the movie it is bombed with duplicate stickers, and unlike the Impreza, the stickers not being flipped on the other side and looking reversed is actually how it should be and is not a mistake. But there is one mistake that I did find however. On the inside of the hood there is a funnel for the intake, despite no intake being there, and that is most likely because this hood is used from the Too Fast Too Furious version of the Evo 7. Talking about the Evo 7, as in the movie we don't really get to see an engine, I think they reused the engine of the green version and gave it a color palette change. When we zoom out a bit and we cover the camera and AR, the headlights pop up and you can see that this time it is yellow, giving it more of a vintage look. Onto the interior then. Obviously, as the movie was placed in Japan, the steering wheel is located on the other side and it's more stock. We also see the return of the switches on the middle console, and performance wise, I said in my last video it would be the fastest non-elite customs tier 4 car, and I got corrected by the TVR Griffith Purple Star being the fastest with a 9.921 record, but they already managed to run a 9.920, so technically in the end I was not really wrong there. But to get these times you need to dial down your transmission to stage 5. Tune and pattern with my best attempt reaching a 9.922. That is it for today. I hope you guys really enjoyed the video because I did. If you did, you know what you gotta do. Hit that like button. If you're new to the channel and you want to see more, leave a subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Mille. See you around and keep racing.